Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all are doing well this afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge Moore.
Good afternoon,
Good
Your
afternoon,
Honor.
Judge Morrow.
Good afternoon, Judge Mora.
Afternoon, everyone. Let's see, courtroom two, we will be ready to begin. It's whenever you all are.
Okay, we're ready, Judge. Good afternoon. This is Officer Blunt.
Good afternoon, Officer Blunt. Who are we starting with?
Position number 7, Ms. Lowe.
Good afternoon, Ms. Lowe. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video to help prevent the spread of the virus. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Lowe, you've been charged in case 23 CR 008453Y with battery family violence. Afternoon, Mr. Howard. Is there a history?
Hey, third arrest, 2022 simple battery out of Douglas County, 2015 suspended license.
Yes. Let's see. Whose case is this? Oh, good afternoon, Mr. George. I can't hear you. I don't know if anyone else can. No, can you all hear him?
I can't hear
No.
you either.
Oh, okay. We
No,
can't
we
hear you, Mr. Jones. Okay. You want to try logging out and logging back in and accepting audio maybe, or something of that nature? Okay. Let's see. Can we go to one of Ms. Pope's cases maybe? Good afternoon, Ms. Pope.
I'm muted. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm not sure which cases are yours, but
Pull up the calendar.
while Mr. Jones is coming back in.
On our list, I had the second half. I'm not sure if it translated the same way onto the SEA calendar. Let me open that up now. So I have position number position 8, 9, 10, 8 through the end. Any one of those.
Okay. Could we take someone else while we're waiting for?
Position number 8.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. McBean. No, tell me your name, ma'am. I'm sorry, you're on mute.
Brett McBean.
Okay, yes, good afternoon. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 008457B with simple assault, family violence, giving false information to law enforcement officer, and willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
13 total. 2019 probation out of Clayton County. 2019 trespass conviction, 2018 shoplifting conviction, and some more probations from 2017, and a shoplifting conviction at FTA.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Pope?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident took place on December 29th, 2023. Officer Lucas was dispatched to 6773 Marywood Drive in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, contact was made with Aja Everson, who was parked in the driveway. She stated that her mother, Brett McBean, locked her out of the residence. Police had been called out to the residence the evening before due to a domestic dispute, at which point the defendant was told that she could not restrict access to the residence to Everson. The victim stated that she knocked on the door and waited for over an hour to gain entry before calling the police. When officers responded, they also knocked on the door. The defendant came to the door and was advised that she could not restrict access to the residence. She was advised if she did so, the victim could make entry through a window. The defendant said that she was the only person with the passcode and that she would not provide that information to the victim. The victim was advised that the defendant was advised that she has to properly evict the victim from the residence. After which the defendant slammed the door in the officer's face and locked the door. The officer knocked again and advised that the victim would be entering the residence. At that point, the victim did in fact enter the residence. The officer returned to his car to complete a supplement, and the victim came out of the residence stating that Ms. McBean had retrieved a gun from the closet, placed it on the couch in front of her, and stated that if anyone breaks in trying to gain access to the residence, that she would shoot them. And the victim stated that she was in fear of her life and believed that McBean would shoot her. Officers entered the home and confronted McBean, who stated that she has a weapons permit and that she would use a weapon if anyone tried to break into her residence. Her name and date of birth were asked by the officers, and she gave the name Bettina McBean with a date of birth of 9/21/1978. The officers were able to locate that, were unable to locate her information when it was run. It was later determined that her name is Brett McBean with a date of birth of 9/21/1979. It was also determined that she had warrants for theft by shoplifting. Our office was able to make contact with the victim, who is the 23-year-old daughter of the defendant. The victim did also indicate that she has siblings ages 7 and 5, who reside at the residence. She confirmed the information from the warrant. She did say that she was planning to move out, but needed to wait for the defendant to come home because she can't leave the siblings alone. She did request no further violent contact. I would ask that the court ascertain whether she is on the call and would like to speak, notwithstanding count 1, simple assault, $1,000 surety bond. And I don't know how to make this happen, so we would leave some of this to the discretion of the court. No further contact with Aji Everson, but I'm not asking for a stay away because she does have 2 minor kids who live in the home. No drugs, alcohol, and she would have to, and no weapon. She would have to give up her weapon. Count 2, UJR through pretrial level 1. Count 3, UJR through pretrial level 1. I saw that she had warrants. I'm not sure. I didn't see the hold, and I don't know if Mr. Howard had, where there was a hold for the theft by shoplifting and failure to appear.
Okay, good afternoon, Ms. Holly. Is this your case?
It is my case, Judge.
You can proceed. Thank you.
Yes, so this was a disagreement. Miss McBean's daughter she's been in the process of evicting her. She does have those 2 children, 5 and 7, who are both disabled. One is autistic, and the younger one has something called trichotillomania. Both of them are severely disabled. She's their full-time caretaker. The daughter's 23. She's been trying to evict her. Her name is on the lease. They are on Section 8. She doesn't have any money to pay a surety bond at all. And additionally, her daughter, who is currently watching the children, is not the children's parent. For that reason, we would be asking for a signature bond. Obviously, don't have any issue with the no weapons provision for now. I appreciate the state understanding that obviously this is her home with her name on the lease, so a stay away from the location would be complicated. I'm not sure how a no further contact would work, as their alleged victim is also currently residing, and per the police report, cannot be evicted yet, but she also wouldn't have a stay away. I don't think that it's possible to have a no further contact at this time. So we would request no further violent contact and just a signature bond.
Okay.
I do know the hold was a FTA from Union City, so I think it should be handled by her pickup here. But if she needs to go to Union City, that's just one more reason that I think that a signature bond would be essential. She does have, like I said, she is on Section 8, and she does have court for that housing on Tuesday.
Okay. Asia Everson, if you're on the line and wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. As such, for the simple assault, it'll be a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. For counts 2 and 3, $1,000 signature bond each through pretrial level 4, makes for a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 1. 1 day anger awareness, no further violent contact with Asia Everson, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay, so I'm going to give you the opportunity to get out of custody, Ms. McBean, but if you're going to evict your daughter, you have to do it through the proper channels. Okay, all right. Happy New Year to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, all of them are level 1, you said?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, Officer Blunt, who do we have next? And Mr. Jones, let's see if we can hear you now.
Can you guys hear me now?
Okay, we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
We're going back to position number 7.
Okay. And this was Miss Lowe. I've already greeted Miss Lowe, and we've gotten her history, and I believe I just called up Mr. Jones. So you can proceed, Mr. Jones.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident took place on December 29th of 2023, where officers responded to 960 Sales Ave to a dispute call. Upon arrivals, officers made contact with the defendant, who stated that while her boyfriend was asleep, she went through his phone and discovered text messages from another woman. She then confronted the defendant. While confronting the defendant, she alleged that she was punched by the victim, and she began to throw the clothes outside of his home. She admitted to assaulting the actual victim. She stated that she was placed in a headlock, and officers did observe visible bruising on her face. The victim did leave the scene, but later returned once officers arrived. And the victim told officers that Miss Lowe started hitting him, and he informed her that if she kept hitting him, he would hit her back. At that time, that's when the defendant grabbed her gun and charged it. The victim then states that before leaving, he did admit that he shot his weapon at both of Miss Lowe's vehicles. And officers also observed physical injuries on his person as well. As Your Honor is aware, there is a open simple battery family violence out of from 2022. I do anticipate that the defense will try to argue self-defense in this. I just want to encourage us to stay on the 4 Ayala factors. Therefore, the state's recommendation is going to be a $3,000 surety bond on the 1 count of battery family violence.
And what's the alleged victim's name, Mr. Jones?
The alleged victim's name is going to be Dundrico, and that's going to be Dedreco. Last name is going to be Tompkins, Thompkins. And of course, the no further contact and a stay away. The victim was arrested as well. He appeared this morning on felony court. So I anticipate that they will order him to stay away from her and that address as well. So we're just doing the same.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. McLeod. Is this your case?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. It is my case.
Okay, you can proceed.
My client is 30 years old. She is the mother of 3 minor children that she shares with the alleged victim. The eldest one is 9 years old, Your Honor. I believe there's a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old. And these children live with her at this address. This is her home, Your Honor. She tells me that the parties have not lived together for quite some time, approximately a year that they have not lived together. She tells me that the alleged victim came over to her home, and this was when he attacked her because she looked through his phone. She tells me that he was definitely the aggressor and that he shot 5 bullets into her vehicles. As the state has stated, he was actually arrested and charged with felonies stemming from that encounter. I would ask the court to give my client a signature bond so she can get out of jail and get home to take care of her 3 young children, Your Honor. No stay away from the location because, of course, that is her home and that is where she lives with her children, not with the alleged victim. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Okay. It will be a $3,000 signature bond through pre-trial level 1. No further contact with with Mr. Tompkins, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Ms. McLeod. Good luck to you, Ms. Lowe.
And Your Honor, that concludes my business before the court today. May I be excused?
Yes, Happy New Year. Have a good rest of your weekend.
Thank you.
Position number 3, Flowers.
Good afternoon, Mr. Flowers. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 008451C with battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
6 total. 2022 simple battery, 2 counts. Proved in the third. That appears to be open out of Clayton County. 2017 criminal damage to property, trespass, violation of family violence order, interference with government property, first offender. 2017 interference with custody, first offender. My bad. That violation of family violence order, that was interference with custody. I'm so used to saying the other one, but that's all.
What's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident took place.
One second, Mr. Jones.
It was 3 if you see fit.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Jones.
Okay, I'm sorry, Your Honor. This incident took place again on December 29th, 2023, where officers were dispatched to a dispute call. Upon arrivals, officer heard the defendant yelling and behaving very aggressively. Upon they made contact with Miss Anna Flowers, which is the wife of the defendant, and she advised officers that the defendant arrived home in a very intoxicated state. He immediately began shouting, "Just sign the effing papers." And she refused. This is when the defendant punched Miss Flowers in the face and in the head with a closed fist. The blows caused a busted and swollen lip to her eye and a knot with a laceration on her forehead. In addition, he spat on her and threw her iPhone and damaged it across the street. The victims advised to officers that this is not the first time that this incident had occurred, and the previous family violence occurred on 3/21 of 23. Given that the simple battery and the cruelty to children, we anticipate that that is with the same victim. The violation of the family order, Your Honor. The state's recommendation is going to be a $5,000 surety bond. Stay away from 110 Baracus, and that's spelled Baracach, Walk, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. No further contacts and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
If Miss Walk is on the line and if Miss Flowers is on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Oh, it does not appear so. Miss Holly?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Flowers and Miss Flowers have been married for a year, but they've actually been together for 7 years. He does have 5 total children, 15, 9, 10, another 10-year-old, and a 3-year-old. Not all of them are with Miss Flowers, but I believe 2 of them are. He does work in real estate, and I believe that is his home. We would ask for a no further violent contact, as well as a no stay away to be ordered due to the fact that this is his home as well. I would also like to say he is denying the allegations. My understanding is that she actually threw something at him, and he does have a cut on his ear from that. At this time, we are requesting, based on that, a signature bond in the amount of $5,000 and just a no further violent contact and whatever else the court would like to order.
Has anyone, either from your office or your office, Mr. Jones, spoken with Miss Flowers?
We have not.
You are on mute, Mr. Jones.
I'm sorry. I want to say no one from our office has spoken with Miss Flowers. I'm going to confirm in 1 second. Attempted, left message. No, Your Honor. We have not been able to speak with Miss Flowers.
Okay. Given that no one has spoken with the alleged victim, it's going to be a $2,000 good bond, no further contact with Anna Flowers, stay away from the Barack Walk address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. I'm not going to keep him from his children, but there's going to have to be third-party transfer of the children of any minor children for visitation, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Flowers.
Position 4, Hardeman.
Hello, how you doing?
Good afternoon, Mr. Hardiman. I'm doing well. I hope you are as well. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Hardiman, you've been charged in case 23 CR 008454E with fare evasion. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
57 total. Last arrest was in November, shoplifting out of DeKalb County. That's open. Got an open felony shoplifting in Fulton. Open trespass in DeKalb County as well. And crossing roadway other than crosswalk. Obstruction as well. You want me to keep going?
No, thank you. Let's see, Mr. Jones.
Yes, Your Honor. I just want to also add that there are several FTAs dating as recent as to 2022. There are also several probation violations as well. And on this particular incident, on 12/29, Officer Wright observed the defendant enter into the North Springs MARTA station by pushing through the fare gate with force without paying the required $2.50. The state's bond recommendation is going to be a $1,000 surety bond and to stay away from all MARTA.
Good afternoon, Ms. Kim. Is Mr. Hardiman residentially challenged?
Actually, he gave me his address. So
Okay. Given, if it's okay with you, Ms. Kim, given the nature of the charge, it's going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while out on bond, and abide by any MARTA restrictions. Does that
Thank
suit you, Ms. Kim?
yes, Your Honor.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Hardiman.
Courtroom 3 is trying to get in, if you don't mind. Then I have position number 5. Young Louise.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jean Louis.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 008452J with criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
What's his name again?
He's position number 5, Willem Jean-Louis.
Okay, John Louis. 31 total. Last arrest was on the 4th of this month for trespass. Probation, reckless conduct, possession of drug-related objects, theft by taking, PR. Another one for trespass and public drunk. Another one for trespass. These are all probation. Another probation for trespass. That's it.
Okay, Mr. Jones.
Yes, Your Honor. So back on, again, December 29th, 2023, officers were conducting a premise check at the Exxon gas station. That's 1105 Holcomb Bridge Road, where the accused was located in the parking lot. The accused has been told several times not to return and has an active criminal trespass warning. Most recently, there's a criminal trespass that dates back to December 4th of 2023, October 26th of 2023, and these are all open cases. Criminal trespass of 10/14/2023, a criminal trespass of 7/24/2023, and a criminal trespass of 6/11/2023. So the state's recommendation, of course, I believe that there may be some living challenges here. The state's recommendation is going to be $1,000 surety bond to stay away from 1105 Holcomb Bridge Road, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Thank you. Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. I was hoping that you would have said signature on bond through jail.
Well, is he residentially challenged? Ms.
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Okay, well, I do want a social worker to see him, to see if we can help him establish some type of or just give him some help. So yes, it will be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from that Exxon on Holcomb Bridge Road, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Jean-Louis, I'm going to let you out, sir, but we're going to try to help you with some housing. But you can't go back to that Exxon. If you go back there, you're just going to be right back here, and I'm not going to let you out on a signature bond next time. Okay? You're on mute, courtroom 2.
That's it.
Okay.
No, I got it.
Now, do we need to go to courtroom 3? Do we need an interpreter for courtroom 3? Sergeant, are you with me?
Hey, Judge. Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Do you want us to do whoever you have there with you now?
She needed the Spanish interpreter in a breakout session with her attorney, Judge.
Okay. Do we have Mr. Jordan? Do we have an interpreter that's going to join us this afternoon?
We don't have one at the moment, Judge. I'll have to request one. I didn't know we needed one.
this
Judge,
your
I
case?
speak Spanish fluently and she is my client. I am not a certified translator, so I cannot translate on the Zoom. But I happily will go ahead and get in a breakout session with her and speak with her. If we can't get a Spanish interpreter today, then I guess we could potentially reset her, but I would hate for her to sit. We could potentially.
No, I don't want her to sit. If she, I don't know the circumstances of the matter as of yet, but if we can address her, we will, Miss Holly. So why don't we go ahead and place you into a breakout room with her? We'll see, Mr. Jordan, if we can still get an interpreter. Once you've spoken with her, we'll see where we are at that point. Okay.
Okay, that's
Now,
not
if
a
I may-
problem.
I'm sorry, just really quickly, if this is the Maria Ortiz case, position number 1 on the calendar, I will let you know that the this case was sent up for transfer to the DA's office. It was accepted. It didn't get done before the cutoff time, so I am waiting on the transfer order to come back. I don't know if that informs the court's decision at all. Right now, it is accused as a battery, but the DA's office did say they would accept it as an aggravated assault.
At the
Okay.
very least, I'd like to put her in a breakout room so I can advise her of that and explain what's going on.
Okay.
It
So
sounds
what-
like if that's the case, it's more appropriately handled in the felony court division if it's already been accepted.
Well, let me make sure I clarify. We need to get the transfer order signed, and the court would have to sign it, so it's not done.
Okay.
But they
well,
have.
can you get that to me pronto, Miss Pope? I mean, if
I
can
just
you get
texted
that to
Mr.
us?
Hutcherson just now to see what the status of it was.
Okay, so if you get that to me, I can get it signed while we're on this afternoon, and then she'll be on first felony, I would imagine. Okay, so Miss Holly, why don't I go ahead and put you into the breakout room with courtroom
fine.
3? Okay, so
Thank
we
you.
can go ahead and do that. You're welcome. And if we can take someone that's not Miss Holly's client, I guess Miss Kim's client.
Can we do number 11, 10?
Is that your case, Miss Kim? Miss Kim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is Mr. Penn your case?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure before I got started. Good afternoon, Mr. Penn. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yeah, hello and yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Penn, good afternoon. You've been charged in case 23 CR 008458E with
Judge, I think your screen froze.
Hey, Webb, check your chat.
Michael Webb, I sent you the contact information of the conflict attorney. So hopefully you can reach her by cell phone or email.
Yeah, we're also corresponding on behalf of the solicitor's office with Mr. Webb as well, and yeah, we anticipate getting this resolved soon.
Mr. Webb, you are muted.
I am so sorry about that. What I'm saying is Judge Hughes ordered me to come into your Zoom meeting and see if I could get in touch with the conflict defender to find out what her wishes were. But if you're telling me, Mr. Jones, I thought she was a defendant on this calendar. She's a victim on this calendar also?
No, she's a defendant on this calendar, and when she came before the court, she mentioned that her and the defendant have not stayed, well, through her attorney, mentioned that her and the defendant have not stayed together for a year, and that he was just over there spending the night.
Okay, so she doesn't want any contact though, as
Well,
opposed to no violent contact.
correct. Well, that was our saying, and that's what he ordered, no further contact
Between them. Okay.
between.
Okay. Thank you very much for that information. I'm sorry to interrupt, but
That's
I'm
okay.
just doing what the judge told me to do. Y'all have a good day.
All right, take care.
All right. Take care. Bye. Let's see how I leave here. Okay.
I'm sorry, everyone. had a power surge and I got booted off of the internet. So I believe, can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Where I got was I asked if there was a history, and that's the last I heard. Was there a history, Mr. Howard?
Who was this again?
This is Mr. Penn, position number 11.
46 total. 2021 possession of drug-related object dismissed. A few trespasses from 2023, probation 2017, 2015 possession of cocaine conviction, 2014 tampering with evidence, obstruction conviction, failure to appear, 2012 trespass. This was 3.
Okay. Ms. Pope?
Yes. This incident took place on December 29, 2023, when the officers observed the defendant loitering in the stairwell at the Civic Center MARTA station. He was ordered out of the stairwell and transported to the 5 Points MARTA precinct, at which time it was determined that he had a MARTA suspension issued on 11/20/2023, which became effective on 12/20/2023. Due to his extensive history and multiple criminal trespasses cases, the state's recommendation is $1,000 surety bond, stay away from MARTA facilities, and comply with all MARTA suspensions.
Okay, Ms. Kim, if it's okay with you, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Abide by any active MARTA suspensions and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Mr. Penn, I'm going to let you out, but if you go back to MARTA, they're going to arrest you again, and I'm not going to let you out the next time on a signature bond. Okay, sir? Good luck to you.
How much for the bond, Judge?
It's $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is position.
Judge, would you like an update on positions?
Yes, position number 1.
13, I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm going to get an update on position number 1 before I go to 13. Go ahead, Ms. Holly.
I spoke with her and she understands what's going on. Did y'all get a chance to get that order sent over, Ms. Pope?
I can tell you, I just texted with Mr. Hutchinson, and he said that sent me an email back to my text and said that it will have to wait, period.
Okay.
So
Then we'll need to get an interpreter on for her today to get it handled as a misdemeanor.
Okay, and are we still working on that, Mr. Jordan?
I had stopped, Judge, but I can get one.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right, so this is Mr. Vaughn. Good afternoon, Mr. Vaughn. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 008461B with battery, family violence, and cruelty to children in the third degree. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, 2020 forgery in the first, ID fraud. Got an open case, 19 CR 007585B. That's for simple battery. And that forgery ID fraud is open in Superior Court. 23 SC 187352. That's all.
Ms. Pope?
Yes, sir. Your Honor, this incident took place on December 29th, 2023, when officers were dispatched to 615 Oliver Street Northwest in reference to a fight in progress. Upon arrival, the officer spoke to Jalea Martin, the victim, who stated she went to the store with a friend. And upon return, the defendant, who is the father of her child, got upset for her leaving. The defendant then wrapped his hand around her neck and strangled her, and then punched her with a closed fist in the mouth. The victim stated that Harmony Vaughn, her daughter, was in her hand during the altercation. The officer did observe visible bruises to the right side of her neck, and her top lip was busted and swollen. We did attempt to make contact with the victim, and we were unable to speak with her. This was requested for a transfer, but we've not received any information back on whether the district attorney's office will accept it. At this time, the state is asking for, on count one, a $3,500 surety bond, stay away from 615 Oliver Street Northwest, no further contact with Jalea Martin, family violence intervention program, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And count two, the cruelty to children in the third degree, UJR pretrial, and no contact with Harmony Vaughn. And I did look into the 2019 case. I'm sorry, it is a different victim, but similar facts.
If Ms. Jalea Martin's on the line and wishes to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. Yes, Ms. Kim.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 24 years old, and he was born and raised here in Georgia. His entire family is here. His mother is here. Your Honor, he has a child who's 4 months old, and he has a new job that starts on January 10, 2024, and he does not want to lose this job because he has to support his new babies. And Your Honor, he completely yes, he was hello?
I can hear you, Ms. Kim.
Sorry about that. He completed up to 11th grade, and he's still pursuing GED to complete the last year of the high school. Your Honor, we ask for no contact is okay, and yet the place that he's residing is actually Jalea Martin's mother's place where he resides, and he told me that Jalea Martin does not reside there. So we would like you to consider that in terms of incident location. That's all, Your Honor.
Okay. For the battery, it'll be a $2,000 good bond. For the cruelty, a $500 good bond. Makes for a total of a $2,500 good bond. No further contact with Jalea Martin. He can go back to the Oliver Street address, but he has to go back there with law enforcement. If Miss Martin is not at that residence, then he can reside there. If she is, then he'll have to find somewhere else to go, and he can use that as a time to pick up any personal belongings. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Good luck to you, Mr. Bond.
Position 6, we're going back to Mr. Kelly.
Okay. Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Kelly. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. You've been charged in case 23 CR 008455Y with simple battery family violence. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Third arrest, got an open ag assault, death by taking, cruelty to children, obstruction. It's 22 SC 183549. That's it.
Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident took place on 12/29 of 2023, where officers responded to 178 Maury Avenue Southwest for a domestic dispute call. Upon arrivals, they made contact with the victim, Miss Lawton, outside of the home with and Miss Lawton advised officers that the defendant came home upset, accusing her of texting another man. That's when the defendant began to slap her in the face and pulling her hair in front of their 1-month-old son JK and their 4-year-old son ZK Jr. After slapping the victim, the defendant then took the minor son ZK Jr. and he took the minor son into the house, and that's when officers observed a text to the victim from the defendant that stated that he was not going to feed ZK Jr. and ZK Jr. would die from starvation. Officers, with this emergency, officers made contact with the front door of the apartment in which the defendant failed to open up the door. The victim ended up giving them the keys to the door because she was concerned about the well-being of their child. Officers then entered where the defendant was arrested. There's also a 22 CP 207684 with a victim by the name of Shamaya, and that's spelled SHAMYA. Last name is going to be Collier, and that's spelled CUYLER, and NZK, which is the minor kid. In this situation, the alarming thing is he is currently under a stay away order from this exact address. So he was not even supposed to be at this location at this time. Because of that, this recommendation is going to be a $3,000 surety bond to stay away, and hopefully he does this time, and no further contact with the victim. And I can put her name in the chat. It's John Terriana Lawton, or the minor kids JK and ZK Jr.
Could you give me the incident location, Mr. Jones? If you did, I didn't write it down. Can you tell me again?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred at 178 Maury Avenue Southwest, which is the same incident location that he currently has a stay away order from under the 22 CP 207684 case.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jones. Ms. Holly?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Kelly is 24 years old. He does have 3 total children, 2 of them with the alleged victim in this case. We are asking for a $1,000 surety bond, and he understands that there is a stay away order and that he will actually need to stay away. We would ask for a third-party transfer of the children if the court is all right with that. Other than that, I'll leave it at the court's discretion.
It will be a $2,000 good bond, no further contact with Ms. Lawton, stay away from the Maury Avenue address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement if he has any belongings that he needs to retrieve from that location. Third-party transfer of any minor children for visitation, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Ms. Holly, it appears that Mr. Kelly wants to say something, so I'll leave that to your discretion.
Mr. Kelly, I wouldn't recommend speaking at this time. Remember, you want to exercise your right to remain silent. This is just for bond.
Your Honor, I just want to confirm he currently has a stay away and a no contact from the minor ZK. So that third party transfer would indeed be a violation of the 22 CP 207684 case.
Okay, so in that case, he'll have to stay away. If something goes away in that case and he is allowed to see the children, then in this case, he'll have a third party transfer. But if if he's not supposed to see the children and I always hate to keep a father from their children. If that goes away, I want him to be able to have a third party transfer in this case, okay?
So can he have a third party transfer with the child that's not on the other case? Like, is that what you're saying? Like, it's only ZK?
It's
who
only
is
ZK.
this-
JK is not on
Okay.
the.
Yeah,
Yep,
because
JK
there's
is
two
not.
children who are with this.
Okay.
With John Terriana.
Excuse
All
me,
right.
y'all mixing up the kids. It's my youngest son is the one. And then my oldest son is the one my youngest son is the one that I had. Y'all mixing up the two.
Okay, so you know what,
Wow.
so in the other court order, Mr. Kelly, if you're not able to see your child because of that court order, then you're gonna have to abide by that.
Oh, I'm talking about
But I'm allowing you to see, I'm allowing you to see your.
JK is
Mr. Kelly, Mr. Kelly, let the judge speak.
No, and I apologize, Mr. Kelly, if we're mixing up your kids, but you know which kid that you're not supposed to have contact with, so because of the other court order. But this court order will allow you to have contact with your minor child that you can have contact with, okay?
And Judge, can I get clarification, sorry, for the exact minor child for my order? Or do you just want me to leave it as third party transfer of the children, period?
Just leave it as third party
you.
transfer of the
Thank you.
children.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, good afternoon, thank you, Miss Grace. Okay, are we all satisfied with that?
My only
Okay.
concern is that he uses this order and thinks that it's going to supersede the other order because it says third party transfer, and now
We could say, if you're okay with this, Mr. Jones, we can say third party transfer in compliance with 22 CP or whatever that CP is.
totally okay with that. Yep.
Okay, I'm all right with that.
Okay, so do you have that 22 CP number, Ms. Grace? If not,
No, sir, I don't. I need it.
okay, if you all could get her that that CP number for that so that she can put it in this order. Thank you.
Position 10, Mr. Montgomery.
Okay, and I also want to note that we do have the Spanish interpreter on the line. So whenever you all want to go back to courtroom 3, if need be, I don't know if you're going to bring her into courtroom 2 or not, but we do have the Spanish interpreter on the line, and we can move forward with that case. And this is position number 10. Is that right?
Correct.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Montgomery. I'm Judge Eric Mora. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Montgomery, you've been charged in case 23 CR 008456J with theft by shoplifting. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
21 total. Most of the history is out of Florida. 2012 suspended license, an out of county warrant. 2011 battery dismissed, violation of DV order dismissed. That's all.
Ms. Pope?
This incident took place on December 29, 2023. Officer Tiho responded to a shoplifter at Green's Package Store located at 2614 Buford Highway Northeast, Georgia 30324. Upon arrival, the officer met with Barry Morton, who was the security officer, who advised that an unknown black male had entered the premises on December 27, 2023 and stole a bottle of vodka, concealed it, placed it in his pocket, and failed to pay for the item before leaving the premises. He came back on December 29, 2023 in the same clothing, and he was detained by the security officer and the police were called. So that's the basis of the shoplifting. We were unable to determine the criminal history, so I haven't looked at it. I just heard what Mr. Howard said. So I'm not sure if he had any theft offenses. Notwithstanding, knowing that there is a criminal history, I'll just do it that the state's recommendation will be $1,000 surety bond. Stay away from 2614 Buford Highway, Northeast Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, Ms. Holly, if it's okay with you, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. Stay away from the Green's Package Store on Buford Highway, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Does that suit you, Ms. Holly?
It's me fine. Thank you, Judge.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Montgomery.
And Your Honor, if I may go back to one of the other cases, because I did not speak up enough, and I know you already provided, I'm not sure if the defendant's still in the courtroom. The police report on the Vaughn case indicates that the victim does live at that address. I know that his attorney said that she did not, but according to the police report, the victim and the child live at the 615 Oliver Street Northwest address.
Okay, and I think I said, Ms. Pope, that he could have a one-time escort, and if she was there, that he could not be there. Was
Okay,
that
I wanted to
not
make
clear?
sure.
He's already taken out anyway.
Sounded like that. I wanted to make sure I clarified on the record, just because it's all recorded, that I am saying that she does live there, even though that's it contradicts what the defendant's attorney said. I just want to make sure I provided that information for the court.
Okay, and I think the order will read that he can't be there unless that he cannot reside there unless she's not residing there. So
Okay.
he's gonna have a one-time escort. Okay,
Thank you.
and who do we have
Number
in court
12,
two?
Mr.
Okay.
Porter.
Good afternoon, Mr. Porter. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court. Afternoon, sir. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we are conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, I sure would.
Thank you. Mr. Porter, you've been charged in case 23 CR 008460H with simple battery against a person who's 65 years or older or who was pregnant at the time of the offense. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
61. 2018 disorderly conduct conviction, failure to appear, battery DV conviction. Also another battery DV from 2018 that was dismissed. 2013 trespass conviction, 2012 battery, 2012 trespass terroristic threats. That's all.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident took place on December 24th, 2023. Officers were dispatched to 1745-7 McClellan Avenue, East Point, in reference to a fight. Upon arrival, officers made contact with Sarah Porter, who is the mother of the defendant. The victim said that she was home cleaning up when the defendant came inside and started throwing things around the home. When she asked him to stop, he threw a shoe at her face. She did not have any physical bruising on her face. His mother was born in 1945. She's older than 65 years of age. The officers noted that the defendant appeared to be under the influence of an unknown substance due to his slurred speech. Based on the defendant's criminal history, the state is concerned, and for that reason, the bond recommendation is $2,500 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from 1745-7 McClellan Avenue, East Point, Georgia, and an ADET. No weapons, no alcohol, weapons, or drugs.
Has your office spoken with Ms. Porter?
We did attempt to make contact with her and have left a message, have not had an opportunity to speak with her as of yet.
Okay, Ms. Holly?
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Porter actually lives with his mother, and she is, I think, almost 80. So he is one of her caretakers, but he has also lived there for a long time. He has already spoken with her. She came to see him while he was in Union City Jail. And he is actually planning to attend Atlanta Mission for rehabilitation. And so I am fine with the ADET because he already plans to do it. We've already discussed that, and I have reached out to my social worker and hope that if Atlanta Mission doesn't have a spot for him, we're going to hopefully find him a rehab for him to get started at within the next week or two. With that being said, he does not currently work, and we would ask for him to be given a signature bond so he can get out and get the help he needs. We don't have any problem with the ADET as a condition.
Okay, it will be a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. No further violent contact with Sarah Porter, ADET, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
And you said further violent. Is there any way we can do no further contact? There was another witness who I believe may have been a sister. So I don't know that at least can we talk to the victim before we allow him to have no further violent contact? Or as a question.
Ms. Holly, has anyone, have you ascertained the desire of Miss Sarah Porter?
I have not spoken to Miss Porter directly.
Okay, so for now, it'll be a no further contact with Ms. Porter. If your office does speak with her and she has would like to modify that, of course, you can seek to have that modified. As such, it'll be also a stay away from the McLeod 1745-7 address. He can go back to that address on one occasion with law enforcement to retrieve any belongings that he might have there. All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Porter.
Position 9, McGee.
Hey, where you going? Go get my hat.
Good afternoon, Mr. McGee. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. McGee, you've been charged in case 23 CR 008464E with certain acts on a bus rail station that are prohibited and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
27 total. 23 failure to appear, shoplifting. Got to open DeKalb County shoplifting, disorderly conduct, simple battery, theft by taking. No, I'm sorry. The theft by taking is in the. Oh, that's the cab too. I'm sorry. September 3rd, failure to appear. That was Fulton County. 2023 trespass, simple assault, no low. 2021 trespass conviction and a DeKalb County hold.
Okay, Ms. Pope.
Your Honor, this incident took place on December 29, 2023. The defendant was observed at the Art Center MARTA station, gaining entry into the station by pushing through a closed fare gate, refusing to pay the required fare. A MARTA suspension check was conducted, returning an active permanent ban issued on January 25th, 2023. The 2023 simple assault and criminal trespass, that was MARTA was it was investigated by MARTA. There are several cases and arrests where MARTA was the investigating entity. Based on the defendant's criminal history, the state would ask for, in count 1, $500 surety bond, stay away from all MARTA facilities. Count 2, $500 surety bond, stay away from all MARTA facilities, or a total of $1,000 surety bond.
Ms. Kim, I'm going to release him to the hold. As such, it'll be $1,000 signature bond through the jail on each count, which makes it a total of a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Abide by any active MARTA suspensions and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Thank you.
I'm going to let you out, Mr. McGee, so you can go handle your business in DeKalb County. But if you go back to MARTA while there's a suspension, then they're going to have you arrested again. So good luck to you, sir. Are we ready to go to courtroom 3?
And they en route with the
I'm ready.
Okay, and let's see. Good afternoon, Ms. Tolles. I appreciate you being here on such short notice for us. If you'll raise your right hand for me.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. Do you swear or affirm that you will translate from Spanish to English and English to Spanish to the best of your ability?
I do.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Good afternoon, Ms. Bananos Ortiz. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the State Court Expedited Accusation Calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Hola, señora Buñuelos Ortiz. Yo soy el juez Eric Morrow. Esta es la lista de causas expedita en el Tribunal de la Sala Estatal del Condado de Fulton. Se está llevando a cabo esta audiencia por medio de video. ¿Está usted de acuerdo que se lleve a cabo su audiencia por video, señora?
Sí.
Yes.
Thank you. You've been charged with battery.
Gracias. A usted se le está acusando de acometimiento.
Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
señor Howard, ¿existe antecedentes penales para esta acusada?
10th arrest, mostly driving, Judge.
Es su 10º arresto, principalmente infracciones de tránsito.
And I just want to make sure that Miss Holly's on with us before I go any further. Okay,
I'm here,
yeah.
Judge. I'm sorry. I didn't
No, no.
realize I didn't have my video on.
No, you're fine. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing you. Okay, thank you.
I would like to clarify, if I can, just briefly for Miss Ortiz, what's happening, because this is not what I discussed with her in the breakout room.
Quisiera
Because
primero
when-
aclarar lo que está pasando con la señora Ortiz, porque de eso no hablamos cuando yo estaba con ella en la sala separada.
When I was speaking to her previously, I was telling her about the transfer, but then we came back and decided to
Cuando
move
hablaba
forward with this. So I just want to make sure she understands that this is her court date to get a bond right now.
Cuando hablaba con ella anteriormente, hablamos de la transferencia, pero luego volvimos a la sala. Entonces, solamente quisiera aclarar que esta es la audiencia donde se le puede fijar fianza hoy mismo.
Thank you.
Gracias.
And Mr. Jones?
Yes, Your Honor. Just want to add that I am showing a open, simple battery and cruelty to children arrest.
Licenciado Jones, sí, solamente quiero mencionar que veo un arresto abierto en pendiente por acometimiento simple y maltrato de menores.
This incident took place on July 7th of 2023,
El incidente sucedió el 2 de julio de 2023,
where officers responded to Los Cabos, and that is 10479 Alpharetta Highway,
donde los agentes de policía acudieron a Los Cabos, que está ubicado en el 10479 de la Alpharetta Highway.
Once officers arrived, there was a small crowd of people outside the restaurant, and officers met with the, I'm sorry.
Una vez que llegaron los agentes, había una multitud pequeña de personas afuera del restaurante.
Officers met with Miss Angelique Rodriguez, which is the victim.
Los agentes se encontraron con la señora Angelique Rodríguez, la presunta víctima.
The victim stated to officers that she and her husband were inside the restaurant.
La víctima dijo a los oficiales que ella y su esposo estaban dentro del restaurante
When an unknown female walked up to her husband and started rubbing his head.
cuando una mujer desconocida se le acercó a su esposo y empezó a sobarle la cabeza.
The female stated that she liked his bald head.
La mujer dijo que le gustó su cabeza calva
And she bets he's bald down below.
y que ella presume que también está calvo por abajo.
The victim asked the female to stop touching her husband.
La víctima le pidió a la señora que dejara de tocar a su esposo.
The defendant responded by picking up a 32-ounce beer mug.
La acusada respondió tomando un jarrón de cerveza de 32 onzas,
Throwing it at the victim's face,
aventándola hacia la cara de la víctima,
causing visible swelling and bruising to the left eye,
ocasionando hinchazón y moretones visibles en el ojo izquierdo.
and active bleeding from 2 lacerations above the eyes.
Y sangraba activamente por 2 laceraciones que sufrió arriba del ojo.
The state's concern is that this incident took place on July 2nd of 2023.
La inquietud del Estado es que el incidente ocurrió el 12 de julio de 2023,
in which the defendant fled in her husband's car.
donde la acusada se mandó a la fuga en el carro de su esposo.
And now we are in December and she's just been apprehended for this charge.
Y ahora estamos en diciembre y apenas fue aprendido por esta acusación.
Therefore, she is a flight risk.
Por lo tanto, la consideramos un riesgo de fuga.
The state's recommendation
La recomendación del Estado
is a $6,000 surety bond.
sería, oh, I'm so sorry, go ahead.
No further contact with the victim, stay away, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
La recomendación del Estado sería una fianza de caución de $6,000, ningún contacto adicional con la víctima, que no vaya más al local implicado en el incidente y nada de consumo de alcohol ni droga. If the interpreter may ask, I'm so sorry. No consumption of alcohol, drugs, and
or no weapons.
Thank you so much. Y nada de consumo de alcohol y droga ni tenencia de armas.
Holly?
Mr. Howard, were you able to confirm if most of her history is traffic or if there was a pending simple battery?
I didn't see
Licenciada
her
Holly,
hand.
señor Holly, ¿pudo usted confirmó si la mayoría de sus antecedentes penales se tratan de infracciones de tránsito o si efectivamente había un caso de acometimiento simple?
Did you hear me?
No, sir, I did not. I'm so sorry.
I didn't see a pending simple battery.
Yo no vi ningún caso pendiente de acometimiento simple.
What jurisdiction was the simple battery in?
¿En cuál jurisdicción supuestamente se perpetró?
My apologies, Your Honor. That is not the right defendant with the simple battery. My apologies.
Pido disculpas, su señoría, no es la acusada correcta que tiene los antecedentes de acometimiento simple y maltrato de menores.
That affect your recommendation, Mr. Jones?
No, Your Honor.
¿Esto afectaría su recomendación, licenciado Jones?
No, Your Honor, that doesn't.
No, su señoría, no afecta.
Ms. Holly?
Okay, Your
Licenciada.
Honor. So I would like to point out, first of all, obviously why I asked that Miss Ortiz has no violent history at all, and she is 47 years old.
Primero quisiera señalar, antes que de nada, que la señora Ortiz no tiene antecedentes penales violentos algunos y tiene 47 años de edad.
Additionally, as the state pointed out, she's had no contact with police in the last 6 months. She was not aware of the warrant.
Y como señaló el señor de la fiscalía, no ha tenido ningún contacto con la policía en los últimos 6 meses. Ella desconocía la existencia de la orden de arresto en su contra.
She does deny the state's version of events of what happened.
Ella sí niega la versión del Estado de lo que sucedió.
But in light of her lack of history and the fact that she does have a child that she cares for at home,
Pero tomando en consideración su falta de antecedentes penales y también que tiene un hijo en la casa,
we are requesting a $5,000 signature bond, as
Estamos-
well as a stay away from the restaurant and no further contact. She does not know this person.
estamos pidiendo una fianza bajo palabra de $5,000, una condición de ningún contacto adicional con la presunta víctima y and the interpreter wants to make sure, and to not return to the restaurant, correct?
Correct.
Y que no regrese más al restaurante.
Okay, it will be a $2,000 surety bond.
¿Está bien? Se trata entonces de una fianza de caución de $2,000.
No further contact with Angelique Rodriguez.
Ningún contacto adicional con Angelique Rodríguez.
Stay away from Los Carlos on Alpharetta Highway.
Que no vaya más al restaurante Los Cabos sobre la Alpharetta Highway.
And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond.
Y nada de consumo de alcohol ni droga, ni tenencia de armas mientras está en libertad bajo fianza.
Good luck to you, ma'am.
Buena
Uh,
suerte, señora.
Your Honor, I will need to go back into a breakout room with her so that I can complete an application now that she's going to need to go to SAT.
Su señoría, quisiera regresar a un cuarto separado con ella para que complete una solicitud, ahora que ella va a tener que asistir la audiencia estatal.
Okay, and so if we can play, and can we need Madam Interpreter any more
No,
this
I
afternoon?
can just speak with her. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Interpreter. We appreciate your help this afternoon. Happy New Year to you.
Thank you. Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you, Interpreter Tools.
Okay, and if we can go ahead and put Ms. Holly and courtroom 3 into a breakout room.
And I have an announcement.
Okay,
Position number 2, bond was posted. Positions 14 and 15 have been waived.
14 and 15 are waivers.
Yes, sir.
And who do we have before us now?
This is the add-on position number 1, Gaskin.
And let's see, are you representing Mr. Gaskin, Ms. Kim?
Yes, I just finished interviewing, Your Honor, so I will be able to represent him.
Okay, are we ready to move forward with Mr. Gaskin?
His wife is on the way to join us at the Zoom hearing, Your Honor.
Okay, so so she's about to log in, is that what you're telling me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, do you have either position 14 or 15?
Yes, I have both
Yeah.
of them, Your Honor. They're all mine. They waived their appearance, Your Honor.
Okay, so I'll give what's his wife's name?
Erica Gaskin.
Okay, I'll give Ms. Gaskin a moment to sign in. We'll move on to position number 14.
Sure.
Williams, who's charged charged in case 23 CR 008459A with battery family violence. Position number 14. Mr. Howard, is there history?
Yeah. He got 2 cycles in his history. He been in custody since November on a capital offense and cruelty in the first. It's 23 CP 223254. Battery DV second subsequent. That's another open case. 23 CP 223255. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Pope?
Yes, this incident took place on October 22nd, 2023, when officers responded to 960 Trestle Tree Court Apartment D in reference to a domestic dispute. Upon arrival, the victim, Tierka Laney, advised her child's father, defendant, and she got into a verbal dispute over joint custody and co-parenting of their 6-month-old son. The victim advised the dispute became more heated and physical to where the suspect struck her in the face with a closed fist, leaving a bruise to her right eye. She further advised that he threw her to the ground, and she stated that the violence also occurred a month prior with a dispute over their child again. He is on no bond status. There is a pending battery family violence. It's with a different victim, but it's very similar allegations. I understand that because it's a misdemeanor, he's entitled to a bond. The state's recommendation is a $5,000 cash bond. Stay away from 960 Trestle Tree Court, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia. No further contact with Tierka Laney. No weapons, no alcohol, no drugs.
Okay, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is only 22 years old, Your Honor. And this incident happened on October 22nd, 2023. And then the warrant was issued on November 13th, 2023. So he's been in the jail from November 7, 2023 for other issues, but he got the bond on December 19, 2023 for all those felony charges. So indeed, this is happening after 72 hours of arrest, or even from the warrant issuance date. So I believe that this is a Riverside issue, and I think he deserves to have a signature on bond through jail for this. He has a huge, bigger fish to fry. So I think having a signature on bond through jail will not make huge difference, Your Honor.
Ms. Pope?
And he's entitled to a bond. Riverside doesn't say that you're entitled to a signature bond. He's just entitled to a bond, which he was entitled to anyways for a misdemeanor.
Correct.
He was on no bond status. You're saying he has a bond on his murder charge?
Yes, he does.
Oh.
December 19, 2023. And I don't want you to mention that it's capital.
Oh, sorry. I apologize.
Judicial to talk about that. So I want to object that on the record.
I don't know that it's prejudicial to mention when we're talking about another violent crime, but I should have asked for a breakout if I didn't intend to say it out loud.
Okay, I guess really the only question I wanted was your response to the Riverside issue.
Riverside just says that he's entitled to a bond. The case has now been accused. The state has recommended a bond on this case.
Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. We would like to request.
Okay. Anything further from counsel? It'll be a $10,000 signature bond through the jail. No further contact with Ms. Laney. Stay away from the Trestle Tree court address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. Okay, I see that Ms. Gaskin is with us, so let me go ahead and take Dylan Gaskin. Good afternoon, Mr. Gaskin. I'm Judge Eric Morrow. This is the state court expedited accusation calendar that we're conducting by video. Do you agree to have your case heard by video?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Gaskin, you've been charged in case 23 CR 008465Y with battery family violence and simple battery family violence. Were you able to pull this history, Mr. Howard?
Oh, I didn't look. Hold on. State, you already have it?
No, it looks like it came up with no record found, so I'm sure something was not done properly. Let me see if I can have it repulled.
What's this booking number?
2321-620.
Yeah.
He told me that he didn't have any incident like this in the past, so there's no prior similar case like this.
All right, I got it now, Judge. This is third arrest. I got a 2015 out of Alabama DUI, minor in possession of liquor. 2020 out of Tennessee for DUI, and that was guilty. He's a resident of Tupelo, Mississippi, according to the book.
Thank you, Mr. Howard. Ms. Pope?
Yeah, this incident took place on December 30th, 2023, when Officer P. Jean Baptiste was dispatched to 290 17th Street Northwest about a domestic dispute coming from room 427. Upon arrival, the officer met with Mr. Dylan Gaskin, and he stated he and his wife got into a verbal dispute about her wanting to stay out later. Mr. Gaskin stated that during the dispute, there was a slight scuffle, but he never put his hands on her. The officers proceeded upstairs to speak with Miss Gaskin. She was crying, and the officer noticed a cut on her right pinky. Miss Gaskin said that her husband, Mr. Gaskin, started an argument with her, and when she tried to leave the room, he pushed her up against the wall and punched her on her right hip. Miss Gaskin denied any medical assistance. After receiving the information, the officers determined that the defendant was the primary aggressor, and he was charged with battery. And it looks like a simple battery was added. Based on the history provided, it does not sound that he has any prior violence in his history. Our office did make contact with Ms. Erica Gaskin. I'm not sure if she is on my note. Oh, she is. I was going to say my notes indicate that she would not be on Zoom, but she's here and she can speak for herself. The state would ask for a on the count, I guess, count one battery, UJR through pretrial, level one, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol, an anger awareness program, the 1-day anger awareness program. And depending on what Ms. Gaskin says, either no contact or no further violent contact with the victim, same conditions on count two.
Okay, Ms. Gaskin, if you're with us and wish to address the court, now is your opportunity to do so. I will need for you to unmute yourself, activate your camera, and I'll have to swear you in. Yes, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you,
Sorry.
that's all right. Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, you can place your hand down. What would you like to tell the court?
Okay.
Go ahead, Ms. Gaskin.
Do what?
What would you like to tell the court?
I would just like to tell them that this is the first time this has ever happened, and I'm not scared of my husband, and I want him to come home with me.
Okay, where is home?
Tupelo, Mississippi.
Okay. And you said that this has never happened before?
No, this has never happened before.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Gaskin. We appreciate you being here this afternoon. Ms. Kim?
Thank you so much.
Yes, Your Honor. My client, 27 years old, Your Honor, and they were here just to watch football in person. They are trying to go back to Tupelo, Mississippi. They drove together, and I want them to drive back together. They have 4 children together, 3, 6, 7, 8 years old. He's gainfully employed to work at Overall Enterprise. He graduated from high school, and this is the first time ever happening, Your Honor. And if he has to go through by pretrial service, it has to be telephonic since he lives in Mississippi. I strongly prefer UJR jail, so that way he can drive back here for hearing, plea arraignment, and all the other stuff. But I think a pretrial service might be a little too much. Thank you.
Okay. For the battery, it's a $3,000 signature bond through the jail. For the simple battery, it's a $2,000 signature bond through the jail. Makes for a total of a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. No further violent contact with Ms. Gaskin, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while out on bond. So I'm going to let you out, Mr. Gaskin, on a signature bond through the jail. But if you don't return for your next court hearing, a warrant will be placed out for your arrest. You understand? All right. Good luck to you both.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I believe our last one is position 15, Kevin Woods, who's charged in case 23 CR 008462J with reckless conduct and criminal trespass. Is there a history, Mr. Howard?
Yeah. Got an open case in South Carolina, disorderly conduct, possession of marijuana or hash. Got a 23 arson conviction. I think it was worded as setting fire. 2022 petty larceny conviction. 2022 disorderly conduct that was dismissed. 2019 pedestrian on highway conviction. 2018 public disorderly conduct. 2017 suspended license. That's it.
Your Honor, actually, may I please ask for a breakout room for this case, or we can just stop the YouTube live for MH issue, Your Honor?
Ms. Pope, would you prefer to have a breakout room, or would you prefer to stop the live YouTube?
I'm fine with either, whatever the court
Okay.
chooses.
All right, I think it'll be easier since this is the last case. Could we stop the live YouTube?